Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh, here we are. Oh, my God.
It's so late.
It's
so
10 o'clock
late.
on a Monday.
On a Monday
and we're
night.
doing 2.
Yeah. Hi. We love you. Hi, I'm
Ugh.
Jackie Cation.
Not me. I present you.
Laurie Kilmartin resents you. But me, buy my products.
Sure.
So,
yeah. That's
yeah.
Anyway,
That's
it's a
valid.
Jackie and Laurie show.
Here we are. It's
Would
late.
I have a list? We have a list of things to talk about.
Sure.
Right?
You got one?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Did you get to do sets this week?
I did. Oh, okay. Sunday was sort of an interesting day. I had an afternoon show, a brunch show.
Okay.
Heather Pasternak.
Oh,
and
right.
Zach. I forget his last name. Anyway, I have this.
Galifianakis. No, I always forget his last
Zac
name.
Efron. They have a show. It's a show in Los Feliz, and it's like in someone's backyard. And so I was like, as soon as I said yes, and then when it came up, I'm
You were like, why am I
"God
doing
damn it,
this?"
Why am I doing this?
Yes.
So I get there, and I'm up last. Of course, I got there
On time, like a person. Yes, like a
My
comic.
dream is to pull up as I'm being announced, walk right on stage, do it, whatever I'm supposed to do, and then leave before the next comic's brought up.
That feels supportive. That feels good. When you show up and then you end up seeing a lot of really good comedy.
It's
so,
true. I
yeah.
saw everyone was funny. It was a really funny show, and I was on a hammock. I was watching the show on a hammock in the afternoon. It was pretty
Okay.
sweet.
All right.
So then I get up
In Los
and
Angeles, very pretty.
yeah, so I'm up. There's like 25 people. You can monitor the responses of everybody, and
Sure.
you can see everything. And there's like a couch up on the kind of the hillside. And I'm like, are there any single parents here? And so a woman raises this dude's hand. And this
okay.
dude's like heavily tattooed and stuff. And so we sort of go back and forth a little bit,
Okay.
And I'm making him laugh. And it's like, cool. And the set goes on and blah, blah, blah. Finish fine. You know who that was?
Who was that?
Tommy Lee. Yeah.
That's a musician.
Yeah, from Motley Crue.
There we go. Oh, I almost.
And the kids he was talking about are the ones he had with Pamela Anderson.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he considers himself a single parent.
No, he
Okay.
he didn't participate. His
Oh.
whoever was sitting with him raised his hand for
Oh,
him,
right,
and
right.
I didn't realize that's who it was.
Right.
So I was making, skate park comments based on his appearance, not knowing I'm talking to a major rock star,
Right,
with a massive penis.
Oh my God. Oh, is that the rumor? Is that
It's verified on tape.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's
sex
There's
tape.
footage.
Am I
they're
just
they're
breaking
sex-
news to you from 1992? I'll do that. I don't care.
You are.
Bill Clinton was the president. Hillary
Okay.
had a husband that actually had that job.
I do. Oh, that's right. That's right. He's going to be the first gentleman. So,
So
according
anyway,
to Mike Kaplan.
Yeah.
No,
So
Brett Weinberg.
I didn't say anything to him afterward. I was so glad I didn't know because I
Right.
would have been the whole time because you could see everybody. I would have been like, "Is Tommy Lee laughing?" But I noticed just from my monitoring the crowd as a normal comic, I'm like,
Right.
I made Tommy Lee laugh.
That's awesome.
That
That
made me
is
happy.
amazing. It's no, and I somebody just tonight on Twitter was made some crack about how the name of the last show, The Good Dank.
Yes.
He said that's a pot reference. I guess.
I could see that. I mean,
could
I
see
don't
it.
smoke pot, but
I don't smoke pot either, but I said, why don't we? What, do you want to ask me about prog rock too? Because I don't fucking know anything about that either. And so I got nothing for you. It's I don't know. Yes, that is a band.
A lot of times, if people reference something we say, it's like, oh, we taped this 2 weeks ago. I don't even know my name anymore.
Right.
I don't know.
I have moved on,
Yeah.
and I have I have a whole new set of DNA according to what it was at Deepak Chopra says that our skin cells are transferred every year all around the world. So everybody's everybody.
That's true. And then we all end up being Stardust. Okay, so then that's 1 p.m. So now I'm thinking we should all have afternoon sets because that's a good warm up. Because then,
Oh, that is
then I have
nice.
like a couple hours between. I have a 7 p.m. set, I just have time to myself, and I'm thinking of jokes, and I'm like, oh, let me change it. It's
Yeah,
like
you're running-
You crack your brain open a little
Yeah.
bit before your regular shows. You know.
Yep.
I think
Well, I'll tell you something. Maria's been doing these 4 p.m. In that mall, the Clubhouse,
yeah.
over in.
I don't know it.
I don't
What?
know. It's on. Where's the Clubhouse?
Like Los Feliz.
It is Los Feliz. Are you guys saying Los Feliz on purpose, or is it?
Am I
Los Feliz?
supposed to?
I thought it was Los Feliz.
Either
Am
way,
I-
it's pronounced wrong.
And either way, the Spanish are furious.
Yes.
Whatever's happening.
It's the least of our white crimes, is mispronouncing Los Feliz. So she does a 4 p.m.
She's been doing a 4 p.m. 1 hour show 5 days a week for a couple of weeks.
Is awesome. I love it. Okay, so then I have a 7 p.m. show, and
Yes.
I was annoyed by this show, so I'm not going to say anything like the club or anything. But it was a PG rated show. I was told a couple times in an email, and I'm like. Why am I
Why
on
am
a
I
PG?
doing this?
And,
Yeah.
why am I? And I don't know. That is so vague. I don't know what it means. Okay, I can't say fuck. That's fine. I don't need
Yeah.
to say. But do you mean tonally? Can I?
Right.
And then I start going through jokes. I'm like, I don't know what's PG-13 or not. And then
I don't know if anyone knows the 13-year-old, but they know more shit than I do.
Yes. But then I was up on stage, and like to me, like a really easy intro joke got
Yeah.
a scowl, and then I was like, oh yeah, they're Christians. This audience is Christian, and then I started
How about
deleting
that
jokes like
information?
mad, and
Right.
I was like, I only have 4 more minutes left,
Right.
You know,
How
and-
much time were you supposed to do?
15.
Okay.
It wasn't enjoyable, is what
No.
I'm saying.
No.
When I don't want to. If you're doing a TV set, that's a different thing. That's not stand-up comedy in a way. That's a television performance.
Right,
It's
you're
not
at
the same
work.
as stand-up.
For
But
some reason.
a club set where you're talking to an audience. What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what sets I did last week because I'm like, I did a set
Dude,
that I
we have
didn't
2
enjoy.
hours. We can have
Oh, that's-
downtime between my story where you can fucking look up your sets. Why are you multitasking on a 2-hour podcast?
No shit. I think you really summed
Slow
it
it
up there.
down.
Right, we got the rest of our lives ahead of us here. Okay.
I'm gonna be forensic detail on tags now.
Okay.
No. So I don't like when we're
So
catering. Like an audience is like, I've been told I'm getting this. Fuck
Okay.
you. You're at a comedy club. You'll get what I give you. That's my feeling. But not that show. So I was
Right.
like, I felt all like hampered and
Caged.
straight-jacketed.
You know why the
Yes.
caged bird sings? Because they were told to be PG-13. That's why they fucking blew themselves.
So then I was at. Then I went to Uncab.
Okay.
Cabaret.
Sure.
And so I told Beth a while ago when she booked, I'm like, I have 4 new jokes since you booked me. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm sorry.
You can hear them.
I'm
You
gonna
can hear those 4
I go,
new
I'm gonna
jokes.
bomb, and she goes, that's okay. So I'm like, So then I get there, and Julia Sweeney's on the show.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking bomb.
Right. No, you're going to bring it.
I bring it out. Yeah, I'm bringing it all out.
Right.
And I did take a chunk that I'm working on. I tried to stretch it out a little bit, and there were some silences and stuff. And
Right.
I found jokes that I don't know are going to work again. They might be because there were silences.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was on autopilot, bang, but I'm not going to fucking eat it.
No.
While Julia Sweeney's in the audience.
Right.
And
right.
she was laughing. I could hear her laughing.
Oh, good.
Julia Sweeney and Tommy Lee in one day.
You have, and in the same, that was the same fucking day?
Yes.
So you did afternoon set and then
Yes.
weird set where you were made uncomfortable.
And Christians in the same day.
And Christians. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you have some Christian group, you have to tell me. If this is some,
It wasn't specific. No one ever. It's when no one says anything, and that's when when I
People
don't have
gotta use
answers.
their words.
I fill in all the information and I start. It's just not pleasurable.
No, you
it's
get-
not why I did stand up, so I could start taking out jokes because they might offend somebody. I'll take a joke out because I'm sick of it or it's not working. That's why I
Right.
want to take a joke out.
so what you're saying is you're available for corporates?
But corporate, you know ahead of time you're getting paid a huge amount of money.
Right. You get paid to
Yes,
to
and
think
you're like,
really
I
hard about
accept-
your
I
set.
accept these terms, and
Yes.
and we're real clear. It's not just be PG. It's like you're paying me X $1,000. Okay, we'll go very specifically about what you're cool with and what you're not cool with.
Right.
I'll take the time to do that. And it's
Because
just like a
it's-
set on a Sunday where I got there and I had all of a sudden
Juggle
whatever.
it around and do all these weird
Yeah,
things.
it was. I felt like, why am I still doing this? You know,
well,
why-
because you want the stage time.
I
I
know.
think that's been established here on the Jackie and Laurie show.
well, aren't you in a mood?
I am in a mood. There's nothing to be done about it. I'm super sleepy. It's I did an episode of The Dork Forest today, and then I edited 3 episodes, and so I am in the can for until almost the middle of August for The Dork Forest.
Oh, that's
and then
good.
that is good.
Do you ever
And
take like a month off?
I've I've been doing it for 10 years. A couple of years in a row, I decided to take a month off. And then in the last 4 years, I have not. I don't understand. I may take this month. This might be it. This might be the month after where I'm like, no, it's great. Been great. You guys re-listen. It'll be fun. Go deep into the vault and listen to the blog talk
People-
episodes.
They'll
figure it
all
out.
those podcasters pick out their favorites, you know, when they want to.
Right, and then there's
Get off the mic.
and other people they take breaks. You know, will
Yeah.
we take a break, Laurie Kilmartin? Do you think? Will we
I don't
have
know.
a hiatus?
Well, we don't want to lose the momentum of 29 female
20.
comics listening to us.
Right, 29 episodes, 29 hours in a row. You guys, what if somebody has a 30-hour drive? Then what? We're not there for them.
That's true.
So what did I did the American Legion show.
Yeah.
I did a
Oh,
show
that's a
at
fun
the.
show.
Have you done that one?
Yeah.
I had never done that one.
I mean, it was it could have gone another. You know what? There was a lot of feedback from the audience during the set.
Oh, they're chatty magoos.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
But
certainly.
they're nice.
They're
I
super
don't know.
nice. They're nice,
And of course, they fought in the Foreign Legion, so we have to honor their
right. We
service.
honor the fact that they've decided to belly up to that bar for some
Yes.
super cheap beers
Yeah.
and call it. And so, I ended up. I got there 15, 20 minutes before the show began. I was last.
Oh,
And so and there were some great comics on it, so it was fun.
Yeah.
But I just sat in the back, and luckily it's a really dark bar.
Yeah.
So you can sit in the back
Yeah.
and you're sort of shielded. So if you're on your phone, listening
yeah,
to
yeah.
you're not so obvious that
Yeah,
you're
that you're-
distracting the comic
Right,
that
right.
you're listening to.
Yeah.
And then I did like 20. They had me
That's
do
cool.
20. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And then the one I did, I haven't done a set. That might be the other reason I'm grumpy is I haven't done a set in 2 nights. So 2 or 3 nights. So,
Yeah.
because I think it was Friday the last time I did a set.
Yeah.
And I did Blast from the Past in Burbank comic book store for Jeff May.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that.
And Jamie Kaler was there and Sam J.
That's a fun one.
Have you ever, I'd never
It's
never
a very
heard of Sam
brightly
J.
lit room. Sam
Yeah,
J.
Sam J is a black lesbian comic who is very
Yes.
smart,
Oh yes,
very
yes,
funny.
yes.
And I had never heard of her, never met her. Do we think that's true? I think it's true, but God knows I can't remember my own left elbow.
I think I just met her recently.
Okay, well, she just did a thing for Esquire with Solomon Giorgio and Guy Branum, and I think it was Rhea.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a gay, talking
Yeah.
about being gay and being a comic.
Yeah.
And so I had just seen her interviewed by Esquire magazine, and then she did the show. She was really funny.
Yeah.
And Jamie Kaler had some interest, he had some new stuff because I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. He's always great.
Yeah.
And Jeff May hosted, and other people were funny. And then I went over to and did Jones Coffee for Rachel
yes.
Mack.
Yes,
and
I
Amy
love that
Silverberg.
show. That show is so fun.
That show was on fire.
yeah,
that show was
they get a great audience.
Jeff had a really great audience. They didn't get my Terrigen Mist joke. Very sad.
Well,
and I was at
in a comic book store?
I know
That
nobody
is
was more
sacrilege.
disappointed than this.
It's also very brightly lit.
It is. It should be. They should turn the lights down.
I don't know if they can. It's
Right,
a
that's
comic.
true.
It might be all fluorescent.
It used to be a bank.
Yeah.
so.
But but Jones is kind of dimly lit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's the only bad thing about it from a non-comedy standpoint is that the coffee shop is closed when you get there.
Yeah.
So there's no way to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And they do give you get a free beer or wine or piece of pizza from
Yeah.
the place next door. There's a window that you go
I
up
didn't
to.
get that.
Oh, interesting. But
Maybe
but
they don't want me eating pizza or drinking wine.
right, I guess not. But it was right after the horrors, right? It was right after the horrors of the news this week.
Okay, right.
And there were I got there that one a little bit late, so there were at least 3 black comics on that one, and it was great. It was really cool because there was
Yeah.
everybody was talking about it,
Yeah.
around it, hilarious, and they were all funny.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And it was a guy named Mateen Stewart.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
I don't think so.
And James Neighbors. Mm-hmm. Jamar Neighbors. Sorry about that. And a guy named Opie. And then Brent Weinbach went up, and Olivia Grace.
Cool.
And Olivia Grace is working on. There's a lot of new. So Maria's been doing this. Bamford's been doing this new bit about how she used to hit on guys once a year. She'd go to a hotel and pick up a guy and get laid. And-
Really?
right. And she was like, that is the definition of a sexual predator.
No, I was just thinking that's a great idea. I'm gonna be at a hotel at Comic-Con all next week.
There you go. And she said she was sober. The guys were usually drunk. It was one and done. And she's working on this bit about it. I might be on the new album she just recorded. I don't know. But Olivia was working on something about how she is aggressively hitting on dudes. And I thought, I haven't heard any guys. I don't know that it's possible for men to do a joke about, yeah, I'm a bit of a creep. And so because it's like it might be only women can talk about being a creep to like a kind of
maybe
sexual predator,
yeah, obviously
because it's more
It's
unique.
not-
It's not discussed,
and it's also
more
it's like
taboo.
there's not going to be an overpowering, a
Right. It
physical
it doesn't feel as violent though. In both of those cases, you're just like, yeah, that does sound inappropriate. What the fuck are you doing? But they all have nice third beats on the jokes.
Yeah.
About not wanting to do it anymore.
I don't like how you're slamming these heroes who are having sex when they want it.
Right.
Sorry, Mrs. Cation.
Yes. Exactly. And sure, we do it. I did. The other exciting thing that happened was I went to do a very early set at the Improv Lab, but for some reason I found myself in Hollywood hours early, and so went to the Improv. Just parked over at
Yeah.
Fred Siegel, and then walked over. And Graham Elwood and Joe Wagner have a new podcast. It's called Pop Divas,
Yeah.
and they play a pop diva song, like a Beyonce song, and then they analyze it for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all dark. They don't want to let me in. They're like, they're recording. And I was like, you didn't finish that with a podcast. And so in bed. And so, but what it warmed the cockles of my heart when Joe Wagner looked up from the recording and went, fuck, it's Cation.
I had a set at the Laugh Factory tonight
Oh, did you?
on the way over here. Yeah.
Wow. How was it?
It was
Where'd you
fun.
park? Where'd you park? Talk to me about
I had
parking.
to valet. It cost me $8 plus a $2 tip.
Fantastic. And did you get paid from the good people at the Laugh Factory?
I think they do. They pay you checks, and then I
and
get
they
them.
forget to send them to you.
Well, no, you're supposed to get them, and I usually, I just wait till they build up. They're like
Okay.
little checkettes.
And they're stacked somewhere, and you have to go walk
Yeah.
over and get them
Yeah,
or something?
yeah.
Okay.
I
Are you
think.
on the list over there? Are you
What
passed?
list?
Are you?
I guess so. I mean, I don't get that many spots there, but I have had a few lately.
Oh, that's
so I don't
interesting.
know what changed.
There's no.
And
there's
I'm
no
not
accounting.
gonna question
the
it.
boat, yeah.
And I'll just enjoy it while I have it.
Sure.
While I get my occasional Laugh Factory spot. It's a
Right.
fun
How was
room.
the audience? Yeah.
They were fine. And then
I
was
find them a little rowdy.
yeah.
Were they
could-
rowdy?
They could be.
Because
They were not rowdy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was an all-female show.
Okay.
So it was sort of booked that way or marketed that way. And
Yeah.
I don't know how that affected the audience, and I don't know
Sure.
if people brought friends and stuff like that. But it was
Who
fun.
doesn't want to watch a bunch of ladies
A
doing
lot of
stand-up?
people. A lot of people don't want to watch a lot of ladies.
But the room was full.
It was foolish.
There you go.
It
So
wasn't
those people
full,
wanted to
but
see
it's a Monday night.
So it is a Monday. I keep thinking it's Sunday.
Yeah. So I watched I didn't watch all of Jim Jeffries' special.
Oh, right. You're watching specials.
Not a lot. I just heard people talking about it, comics talking about it. I'm like,
Okay.
all right, I should know.
Should you? I don't. I don't want to know. I can't
Really?
watch anybody's. I don't even want to watch my special. I've seen 3 episodes of Lady Dynamite.
Yeah.
I'm in the 4th episode.
That's where you stopped. I've watched
Well,
like 8 or 9.
I want to watch them all, but
Yeah.
and I would rather watch a sitcom than stand up on
Right.
But I see so much. I mean, we see so much stand up.
I know.
There's the flattening of stand up through the television.
Yes.
That I would rather watch Jen Kirkman do stand up comedy.
Yeah,
You know who I
right.
will watch? Like I'm not going to get to see her long set, so I would actually like to see that. So your 45-minute thing about your dad, I would love to see that. Netflix. But it was because you're not going to do it again.
Right.
So I would love to see that. Would be a reason. I watched
Yeah.
Stuart Lee's stand-up comedy because he's in fucking
Stuart
Britain.
Lee.
So
So
I'm never.
funny.
Yeah, he's so great. And but Jim Jeffries, that guy's around. Fuck. What I'm gonna.
Do you run into him? Do you run into him here in Los Angeles?
I did a show with them. The first time I did a show with them was probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was before. It was right when he was. Everybody was very excited.
Yeah.
And he's fine. I mean, the thing is I listened to that joke that you were talking about.
Well, he opened with a chunk on Bill Cosby.
Right. I listened to the bootleg version of it.
Right,
So
'cause
I
you
didn't
don't
have
want
to
to give
fire
him
up
any
my
money.
Netflix.
Oh.
And I was like, that's just Netflix.
Someone recorded it
Right.
at like a gig.
Yeah. And so I
Seems
got to see.
illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed very illegal, but I got to hear the joke, and
Yeah.
I don't think he's living check to check, and so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So whatever, and it's also for free on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I liked the version of it that was on that. I don't know. Did you listen to both versions?
I listened to most of the one you sent me because
Yeah.
it sounded like it was going to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought the premise was very funny. The premise of
Which
the Jim
one?
Jeffries bit seemed to be to me was that he loved Bill Cosby as a child, and so he would have liked to have been raped by Bill Cosby.
Right.
If
yeah.
someone was going to rape him, that was his go-to.
Sure.
That's
sure.
a great premise.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
And then it kind of meandered a bunch into weird, like women being psyched about, and then him doing like the pudding pop voice and the rape thing.
Yeah.
There was some of that wasn't great for me, but I mean,
Yeah, I was trying to like analyze because I watched it a couple times to try to analyze my response because
Okay.
at first like I was like I liked a couple jokes and and then he did an act out where he's like he was being a Bill Cosby, fingers on the vagina,
Yeah.
and then I involuntarily crossed my legs and rolled up into a fetal position.
right? You became
And I was
like one of those tiny bugs.
it's
that
not
rolls.
what it like, and
Not enough punchline, a little too graphic, or not a
Yeah.
punchline at the end of it.
right, yeah. I was trying to,
Because
it's,
I get a physical. I mean, it's not my go-to, but I see why you do a physical act out. I mean,
Right.
it can be fun.
but like I've never been raped, but I can definitely imagine what it would feel like, and it's so weird that he took that same thing and was like,
This is a good
let's
thing.
make it giggly.
Let's make it. Let's make it.
I couldn't make that jump on that joke.
Right. You didn't jump
that's-
with him.
No, and then that sort of took me out of it for a little bit.
Right. And then he did get me back with the sort of meta where he examined, the reaction. I liked one line
I
a
liked
lot.
it. And what'd you like?
I liked the one line of, I actually do, this is a joke. I actually do not want to be raped.
Yes, that
by
was
Bill
funny.
Cosby.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was funny. And if all of that joke were written out, by the way,
Yeah.
not funny at all.
Well, he mentioned that like his shit doesn't read funny, and it that was funny too.
That was funny too. It was a good
and
call.
I forget when he did this joke, but when he did it, I was like in a kind of in a horror state. So the fact that it made me like, he's like,
Yeah.
Bill Cosby and I do the same thing, comedy.
yeah.
But
Yes.
I was very in and out on that, and then the next bit, I haven't watched the whole special, but the
Okay.
next bit is fucking brilliant, and it's
yeah?
really funny, and it's about his kid and autism and vaccines, and then he says,
Oh,
in the
that
bit
vaccine
that
thing.
he's been diagnosed on the spectrum, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I bet a lot of male comics that seem to be lacking empathy when they start talking about women
Mm-hmm.
are probably on the spectrum.
I don't think that's just men. I think
No.
I think there's a lot of women comics.
Yes, yes, I actually think that's probably
I think
true.
we're all a little bit on the spectrum.
But isn't it like I've said this before, but this is just this bit reminded me of this
Yeah.
thought. It's not on him. Is there's like so many there's some male comics that are fucking brilliant in certain areas,
Right.
you know, or they're brilliant, you know, and the thing he did with this, you know, the
gun
vaccine
thing and
the gun thing, yeah, exactly. And then
Right.
you're like, and then when they get over to women, they become, you know, they go from A+ to C-.
Have you seen
and you're
Bill
like,
Maher's long set?
the same brain that just came up with
Yeah.
this brilliant thing came up with that?
Right.
What? Like it drives me nuts, and I don't know, do they really drop 20 IQ points when they're writing about women?
Yes.
Or is it the thing of I can be bad boy, I'm not going to be politically correct in your face about all these things, you know, and then with women, like, oh no, that's not what I wanted to say. Like,
No, fair enough.
No,
Because,
okay.
because it gets twisted up.
it's almost like that's the easy thing to, like, guys can all bond on fucking bitches.
Right, bitches, man.
Right?
What are you going to do?
And so that's the easy one that's the
Right.
low hanging fruit.
Right. They've written a beautiful, and this happens. I think this is a common thing for all comics. I think is that you write your first signature bit. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You write your first signature bit. You've written something that's real, and it might even be universal in the fact that, you know, whatever it is, it's bottled water or something, but you make it personal, you make it important,
Yeah.
and it resonates with the audience, and it becomes a thing that people are like, oh, you should do that thing about the bottled water,
Right.
And you kind of fell into it, but then now you have a bar to rise to, or the audience does when they watch you.
Yeah.
So when they watch you do anything else, you have a toilet joke,
Right.
you have a stupid
Yes,
men are
yes, yes,
stupid,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
my fucking husband, my stupid girlfriend, and it lowers the tone of the whole act.
Yeah.
And that is, so he's not alone in that. But I was going to tell you, because I opened for Bill Maher one time.
Yeah.
He always has women open for him. Did you know that?
Why?
I don't know. But it's just a thing that he always does.
That's cool.
It's possibly because it's his last 20 minutes of his set.
He's trying to offset.
He might be, because the first 55 minutes were great.
Yeah.
Clearly written by himself and other people about politics
Yeah.
and other social
And other people.
and a little socio-political, you know. But he
Yeah.
has a team.
Right,
The
of
man's,
course.
of course. And then the last 20 minutes, and this was probably 5 or 6 years ago, I opened for him at Cobb's, and the big one.
Yeah.
And it was entirely about how nobody can make him get married. Women cannot make him get married. And you could see the audience shut down and go, who? Nobody is insisting you're an adult man.
No one wants to marry you.
No one wants to marry you.
You're awful looking.
Here's my favorite thing is I had worked the weekend with Ralphie May.
Yeah.
I was featuring, right?
Yeah.
So Ralphie May. Then the green room's upstairs at Cobb's. Sunday night is the Bill Maher gig.
Yeah.
And so I'm upstairs in the green room. They have brought in platters of crudité. You know, there's carrots.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's free cheese and whatever is happening. Right. I get upstairs and I'm just kind of hanging out and standing there. He shows up with his people. There's a group of individuals. Whatever. It's a bunch of fuckwits.
Yeah.
He's
it's
just
a squad, Jackie.
Is that his squad? Is
Yeah.
that his posse?
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it's painful. They're all just high and very, very working girl kind of situation looking.
Ew.
And so I introduce myself because I'm opening for him.
Yeah.
And I'm introducing him. So I'm like, hi, I'm Jackie. I'm Cation. I'm opening for you. And he goes, nice to meet you. And he looks, speaking of being on the spectrum, he looks like
really?
over my shoulder. And he goes, are you going to need this room?
Oh my God.
And I said, the green room? And he goes, yeah, I kind of need this room. And he's got 8 people with him. And I looked at him and I said, I think there's a coat rack downstairs. I can hang out there if you want. And he goes, thank you so much.
Oh,
he didn't
my
even hear
God.
me.
Wow.
Yeah. So all I'm ever looking for from the famous, distant politeness. That's all I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be, but you have to live in the moment, my friend. And so.
Well, yeah. I don't know. It's.
But that last 20 minutes was just, it was dumb. It was genuinely bitches and women want your money. Women, just sit on my cock and get away from me.
I don't understand how you can write very specifically about certain things and then you go so general, so broad. Women are like, there's no women are. As soon as I hear someone say that, I pull out. I'm not interested in the sentence anymore because.
Are you using a condom? And thank you.
Oh my God.
I'm here all weekend, you guys.
Oh my God.
We're here for 2 hours.
I want to go home. That was awful.
It isn't fair. It isn't. We'll strike that from the record.
Now
Kyle.
I know why Bill
Strike
Maher.
that from the
No, I know why Bill Maher wanted you out of his green room. Oh, you're the worst.
That's some classic riffing, you guys. That's a real classic.
It is classic. It's at least 50 years old. It is a classic.
Condoms were invented in the 1700s, you guys. Anyway, I'll be over here with other fun facts.
So
Next.
I don't remember what I was saying. You derailed what was probably
You
a
said
brilliant
you're
point.
pulled out. You pull.
Oh,
out
I
of
don't listen to the joke anymore because unless you're making fun of that structure,
Yes.
then what are you saying?
Right. Right. You're not
just
saying
making
anything.
shit up.
You're making shit
Your
up because
setup
all
is-
women aren't like that. Because
No, they're all not like anything.
Nobody's all like anything. You maroon.
But it's weird. It's just, and this again. This is not about him. This is like a larger thing that
About
it made
Jim Jeffries or
it just reminded me about
Bill Maher,
a
any of these
million
guys.
comedians
Yeah.
I've worked with where like if you say women, right? If you take that, you take out women and you put in African American or
Yeah.
black, half of them wouldn't utter the sentence because they know, oh, that sounds racist.
Yeah.
That is racist.
Yeah.
But they put women back in, they're like, it doesn't register as equal.
Right.
Like misogyny and racism aren't equal evils to
Nope.
a lot of people.
No.
And it's sometimes when I look at comics that are doing all the shit about women and I'm like, and there's women in the audience.
Yep.
And so the women in the audience are going to beat the shit out of them after the show in the parking lot. So
No.
they're safe.
Yeah.
But would you say though equal jokes to a mixed race audience? I bet you fucking wouldn't because you would be afraid to.
Well, and think about this, is that whenever anybody writes a joke about someone in a wheelchair or someone who's blind or someone who's deaf, and there's someone in the audience who has that disability, I know comics have actually said to me, I'm not going to do my wheelchair bit because there's a guy in the audience with a wheelchair. Well, you're a dick. If you can't do your wheelchair
Fucking, you
joke,
should open with it.
you have to do that joke.
Yeah.
If you cannot do the joke about what is happening with a person, if that person
Right.
isn't going to laugh at it, you've written a bad joke.
Yeah, it's not a good enough joke.
It's right. Yeah.
It's a B joke.
It's a
Drop it.
Drop it. Keep writing. Never forget. Never surrender.
By the way, I have so many B jokes.
Right. Well, you're right.
A 45-minute set is 3 A's and 100 B's.
Well, and we're sitting on top of the mountain judging, right? We're
Yes.
looking.
It's fun. It feels good.
It's a podcast
We're talking
situation.
to no one
We're about no one
about no one specifically, but 100 people.
Right, 100
Yes.
people can't possibly, and it's like when I tagged Roseanne. Who knew that she was going to actually be? Is Jim Jeffries going to listen to this? Is Bill Maher going to listen to this? Is Bill Maher's intern that he doesn't pay going to? No, I don't know. I don't know. Does he have such a thing? I don't
have
know.
no idea.
Me neither. But
Yeah.
I'm willing to risk it. Is what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to get to him, and I don't think why could he
would
possibly care?
Why would he care what two old female comics think? Why would anyone care what two 50-year-old comics think?
Because we're hilarious and we're
Oh,
super
really?
cool. I
Wow.
don't know if you know
We're
this
both
about us.
available on a Monday night to do a podcast. Wow.
Two
it's
of
really
them. Two of them.
I know.
Don't hold
Okay.
yourself.
I'm looking at my notes now.
Yeah. Sure. Multitask. We have
is
2
this-
hours.
Because there was a pause.
Yeah, there was a pause.
You were checking your notes while we were in a conversation. we went to a lull
It's going to be the longest hour and a half of
where
our
you were
lives, guys.
where you were all, starting to shoot yourself in the foot about Bill Maher. I'm like, Jesus, aboard.
I'm
Let's
never
come up with another
That's
topic.
it. It's why can't I make fun of the dead? Gary Shandling, always perfectly nice to me, by the way. Anyway, that's why, because dead people are nice to me.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is this strange? This is not okay. Usually, when I get a Lyft or an Uber, I
Okay.
don't have them drop me off at my house. I drop off a couple houses down, and I wait for them to leave, and then I walk
Because you're
to my
actually
house.
an MI6.
What's that? What's an MI6?
It's the CIA of the Great Britain. I'm reading a James Bond book. Anyway, so
Okay.
you're
because I don't want them to know,
where
I
you live. Interesting.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, right there. If they could drive me into my bed and pour me into it, I'd be like, do you want to see my Star Wars sheets? Let's do this.
Okay. Okay. So I took a Lyft home from
Okay.
Burbank Airport.
Okay.
And when you to leave, the Lyft has to go into the parking garage, and then they have to leave out through a meter, a gate or whatever, and it costs $3. And so the Lyft driver's like, I didn't know about this, and I live in Burbank. It's a very short ride, so I felt guilty. So I said, I'll tip you $3
Yeah.
and cover it because he's making $8.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so I may have tipped $5.
Wow.
But it was really
guys,
late.
class.
It was like 4th of July, and the guy was nice in the car.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt so I just had him drop me off in front of my house. Okay,
Yeah.
which I never do.
Right.
Well, today, knock, knock, knock.
Dude's there?
He's at the house. Yeah,
Oh, you are not incorrect. It turns out you were correct.
he's at the house, but he goes. It turns out Lyft reimbursed me the $3, so I wanted to give it back to you.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't
Maybe.
a creep.
Maybe okay.
Maybe okay.
We'll see.
Right, if
We'll
he's back
see.
in 2 more days to go, hey, did you want to have coffee?
Hey, listen.
Was he
maybe
is he
in-
27? What?
Why do you think they're? You see,
Was he
you're always
handsome?
like, oh, they want to have coffee. I'm like, no, he's going to rape me, and then I'll have my own Bill Cosby rape chunk.
Wow. You've never been sexually assaulted.
Oh, well, my swim coach did some stuff, but it wasn't like a rape.
Okay, all right. So I have been attacked a couple of times. So and then yeah.
Fuck.
So disappointed, and disappointed in
life?
bad guys. Yeah, but remember I used to drink a lot and wander.
Oh,
in parks
that's
and
right.
stuff.
You were asking for it. I
That's
forgot
right. I don't know
about
if you
that,
know this
Jack.
about the Native Americans. Danielle Koenig used to do the greatest joke about how the Native Americans, we raped their land and we raped.
Pillaged,
we
raped.
rape and pillaged.
Yeah.
And she said, but do you remember how they were dressed? And Danielle Koenig, ladies and gentlemen, did that joke in Minneapolis, the largest Native American population in the country, urban Native American, and she got a little guff for it. And
great.
but she was hosting. I was featuring Jimmy Pardo closing.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimmy. And Jimmy got so mad at the audience about it.
I love it.
And I was mad at the audience as well because I was like, hey, jerkweeds, this is not.
Yeah, it's not
That's
about
a
you.
great
It's
joke.
just a
That is
silly-
nothing. It
a
is
silly joke.
Get off your hothouse
That's so
flower.
funny.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Well, I had a set at the West Side.
Okay. Yeah, the West Side thing in the
Yes,
alley down in Santa Monica. The West Side thing
In and out.
in the alley.
Speaking of dark situation, no, it's actually such a great room, and
It is a great-
It's an
and the
alley in Santa
redo.
Monica, so
The
it couldn't be
redo.
safer. The safest alley in the world,
Right off the 3rd Street Promenade,
Yeah.
you guys.
So I have decided that I'm going to try to keep reworking my rape thing. this
Okay.
rape
Oh, the
joke.
boy? Yeah.
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 And then, like tonight at the Laugh Factory, I was like, let me just set the call back up a little bit better, so it's clear I'm making fun of white people in the callback.
Right.
Because so many times I'm like, oh, the audience can't handle this joke that I wrote because I'm so
Why?
I'm too
You're just too smart for the room, man.
I'm too dark for them. But a lot of the time is I just haven't written it properly.
Yes, that is a common
You know,
error in
and I haven't
stand-up
set it
comedy.
up enough.
Yes.
And there's this compulsion
never alone.
to take away as many words as possible, right? You just want it to be as short, and you do want your jokes to be as short as possible. But
Yeah.
sometimes you take too much away, and the audience is like, why are you talking about that now? Like,
Right.
wait a minute, you were just talking about your son.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? So anyway, so I was kind of playing around with that at the Laugh Factory tonight, and that
Did it work?
something, yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah, a little. I'm like, it's like an accordion, right? I'm like, pull this one out a little bit,
Yep.
you know? Okay, all right. So now let me see if I pull that one out, how do I, set this one up a little bit? Whatever. It's, it's minutia and
Yeah.
just polishing and polishing.
Nice work. I have to. Yeah.
Okay, but at the West Side
Yeah.
on Friday, I think, I was doing Nicole Blaine. She has the
Virgin show.
Yeah.
Some
So-
lawyer or tell. Because who was it? What?
It was her daughter.
It was her daughter who wanted to try stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And her daughter probably has some
She
job
killed.
where.
Yeah,
oh, did
killed.
she?
Yeah. Her
They
daughter
always
has a
do.
job. Her daughter's a lawyer. She's 8 years old and she's a lawyer. But
Is she an 8-year-old?
yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. But so anyway,
You worked that chunk there?
yes. Okay, so in the front row, so I did a third call back too, and I'm like, I'm calling this back till it gets a laugh I want, motherfuckers. And so that got a decent enough laugh, but then this woman at front goes, "It's never gonna."
Oh, fuck
And then I'm
you.
like, "Oh, it's on, bitch."
Yeah.
So we just kind of did a little back and forth.
Sure.
And, and it ended up funny to the audience.
Oh, good.
Not to her. She
No.
was mad the entire time and sulked the entire
Oh.
time right up front.
So sad.
But it was
too bad.
But it was like, when I start a set, I'm like this. I know things were. It's one thing
Yeah.
if a joke isn't working, but it's not so much that it bombs. That when it doesn't work, it's screeching halt.
Oh.
But when it does work, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, it's like each set, like, all right, am I willing to have this potential punch in the stomach, self-inflicted wound?
Right.
I can totally avoid it by not doing this joke,
Right.
and right now I'm like, I'll take it.
Right,
you know?
right. You're playing it because you're playing in your head with these short sets. You're always fast and loose with what jokes.
And
I
they're
know what
so
jokes I
short,
want.
too.
They're so short.
It's-
Yeah, I have to work on this big chunk, but I also have to keep tight this. I haven't done a set since Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and it is definitely you can hear frickin' Grumpy Magoo.
Yes.
but thank you. I'm so glad that you noticed. And but so. Because the last couple of days, I'm like, I don't need to do a set. I need to write a set. I lost the lineup for my album. I lost the set list, and I have it half written. But like when you write a first draft, and you're like, if you lose that first draft, it's okay because then you write almost a 1.5 of the draft, and it just. It's a good excuse to do that, so it's good. But I haven't been able to sit down and write the set list for some reason. I'm just too tired, and I'm in my own head, and so I would like the set list to be done.
God, I know.
And-
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but
Somebody crawl in my head, figure out what I mean, and put it on the wall.
right, and it's more fun doing sets than writing set lists.
Yes.
It's so much more fun. I'd rather just
What do you mean you're writing a set? Well, like I just make a little note to myself of stuff I want to work on, inserts, into
Right.
existing chunks. Or what you mean you're writing a whole 45-minute set list, like the name of every joke? What do you
No.
mean when you're writing set list?
well, I'm trying to write the last 20 of the album.
So
for
you're
example.
handwriting like the whole bit?
No.
the whole-
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not typing
joke?
it out. I'm not
Okay.
typing out the jokes. I'm just bullet points.
Okay.
Like what the bits
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So that I can work on that and make sure I don't forget any of the jokes.
Okay.
Because I keep forgetting bits that are lines that are in the. And I wanted to try this new line that. Because I don't have. Some of the jokes are so new. And when I say new, for me, a new joke is 3 to 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Where because my jokes are super long and I got to tighten them up and ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them don't have clear cut enough punchlines on the very end. And so I've been trying different ends
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
on different punchlines. And then I haven't listened to my sets. So I haven't written them down. And
It's hard.
so there's so much, when people say, well, you work 1 hour a night. and you're like, I want to bury you in the sand.
That's the fucking easy part is performing.
the greatest part of it is
The-
performing.
all the
Transcribing and
other
the admin and the sending out of veils. I sent out of veils last week.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I want to work those clubs again. You guys remember me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I listen. Yeah, like on Cabaret was. I don't know. You can just take space between the jokes, and
Yeah.
that's where you find stuff. So that
Okay.
that
That
kinda
is great.
cool. But I don't feel like
I did it a couple of weeks ago. It was really nice because
Yeah.
that audience is so giving and patient.
And but most sets here in LA, I just feel like, there isn't that
I have 9 sets,
space
by the way,
between jokes available
in New York in August.
Oh, that's great.
Already. I'm pretty psyched.
That's
And
awesome.
I haven't even hit the clubs yet.
That's
so,
cool. Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So,
So,
but I always feel
even,
it's got to
but
be
New
rapid
York
fire.
too.
It's rapid fire.
New York's no space at all.
There's no space at all.
I build every time I spend the time building up to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, am I getting in this weird cycle where LA is just to build up to New York? Is that going to be my life for 10 more years? I don't know exactly what I'm aiming for now, but except I do want to record another CD at some point if I have enough to fill.
Yeah.
Enough time to fill.
Oh,
But
for sure.
I don't know.
What? Okay, so let's do comic of the week.
Oh,
Comic of the
yeah.
week. Comic of the week.
Okay, Eleanor Kerrigan.
Who is she?
You don't know Eleanor?
I don't know and Eleanor. If I do know you, my apologies. Please.
What a horrible way to start off Comic of the Week. Who is she?
Well, no. The thing is I trust your.
Yes, she's super
implicitly.
funny.
Yeah.
She works out at the Comedy Store a lot.
Okay.
And she used to be a waitress there.
Okay.
And she does stand up, and she's so funny. She's
I don't think I have met her.
she's from Philly.
okay.
She's one of, I believe, 11 children. It's like one
Oh.
of those old-fashioned Irish Catholic
Yeah.
families that used to exist all the time, and
Yeah.
now it's only Eleanor Kerrigan, Jimmy Dore, and Neil and Kevin Brennan. They come from just an
Like
insane
double
amounts
digits.
of siblings. Yes,
Double
yeah,
digit
yeah.
kids. Yeah.
And she's really funny. She opens for
How do you spell her last name?
Kerrigan, Kerrigin, like
Oh.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Okay. Yeah. Eleanor.
The ice skater.
Right.
And she opens for Dice a lot.
Okay.
On the road. So she
Yeah,
can like
I've never-
handle. She's got, she has that stance where she can fucking handle a giant room.
Yeah.
And then I see her all the time at Tammy Joe's stuff and at the store
Okay.
where she's working more intimate settings.
Yeah.
She's very funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think she's
look
chronically
for her.
underrated, and I hope good things happen for her. you
Yeah.
know?
Let's-
she's really
let's
good.
get her
And she's
in.
a super nice comic as well.
awesome. Yeah, I saw.
Let's get her in. No, in this podcast.
No.
Okay, good.
Let's
I thought
get
you
her
were trying to
in the-
get guests.
do guests?
No, let's end this as quickly as possible. That's my goal. As
Add
soon
a
as,
third
as
person?
we start. No.
What?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We're not even at a fucking hour now.
Are we not? 47 minutes, you guys.
Oh my god.
All right, let's do it. What was your first open mic? I was going to save it for the second episode.
Did we talk about this already?
God knows. What's your second open mic? Is that helpful?
There is this room in San Francisco in the Castro called the Rose and Thistle, and
Sounds like dancing.
they almost did. It's like I went back there recently when I was walking around. Last time I was working the Punchline, which is a while ago, and it's like a nursery. There's
Okay.
like plants all over the place. I'm like, fuck, so much happened here. It's so strange when comedy clubs turn into something else. It
Yeah.
is heartbreaking. Like the Walnut Creek Punchline, I think it was a gaming center after that, and then Foo
Dave
Bars.
and Buster's? Or
No,
something?
something smaller, something
Okay.
shittier, and I don't know what it is now. And they may have like rearranged Walnut Creek so much where it's not, the building's not even there. And then Foo Bars turned into a Chinese restaurant, and now it's a Christian church.
Oh, wow.
But it's so strange when you just, all the darkness and all the fun you had in those comedy clubs, and then they can just paint them over and turn them
Right.
into something else.
Well, but think about the good works that were done Wasn't Flappers like a TGI Fridays or something?
I think it was a macaroni.
It was a macaroni grill?
Yeah, one of those things.
So
yeah.
it can happen both ways,
That's
Lori,
true.
is what I'm saying.
All right,
It's
I'm inspired
We can
now.
take back the night, is what I'm saying.
The Rose and Thistle was in the Castro, and it was at one point open 7 nights a week. Like someone was
Wow.
like, "Fuck it, let's do stand up all the time."
That's
And
awesome.
I was there constantly.
Yeah.
and it was like late 80s, and gay San Francisco was in full bloom, and I was like, my eyes were plastered open as soon as I'm like, what's happening? It was the gayest of the gay being gay in the Castro, and it was
Right.
mind blowing. I couldn't believe the
And
stuff
that's
I
where
would
you
see.
learned how to do stand-up?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, with gay audiences?
The gay audiences weren't always gay. It was
Okay.
like just this sort of mix of people.
Mix
There's
of
like
like
always
punks?
tourists
Were
in
there
San
punks?
Francisco.
Were there punks?
No.
Okay.
There's like tourists in San Francisco.
Okay.
Stuff, of course.
'Cause it was the
In
Castro.
the Castro. Yeah, they're all over there. But yeah, and then I did this thing called the Miss Haight Ashbury competition, where it was just, I don't know, it was just this weird thing that, like, I don't know if they do these things anymore. You know, San Francisco's changed so much.
Well,
Was it stop changing everything? Stop changing.
It change does suck, sadly, inevitable. Here's my question though:
Yeah.
is was it a beauty pageant where
It was a fake beauty pageant. It was mostly drag
fake.
queens.
Okay.
And a couple of straight women, me and maybe a couple other people.
Okay.
And that's because I did that because, well, it sounded fun.
Okay.
You know, and Amy Glynn booked it, and she also booked the other cafe, so I was trying to get in with Amy Glynn. So I'm like, yeah, I'll
Sure.
do your
other
Miss
thing.
Ashbury.
Yeah.
And I was like 210 pounds right then, and I just was like trying to feel good about myself, you know,
Okay.
and you know, buy a nice outfit and not sweatpants and stuff like that. So I did that, and then
How'd you do?
I didn't win.
Right.
But I lip synced to some. I don't know. It was just, I just remember feeling like a very little girl. I was like 22 years old, and these drag queens with the makeup they were putting on, and
Pretty
and
powerful.
they were just a different. They were almost the word creature in a sort of in a magnificent way.
Right.
Where I was like,
No, the first
Who
time
are
you
you?
see drag queens and you're
Yeah.
like 22 or 23
Yeah,
years
yeah.
old, you're like, you can do what?
yes,
You were
yeah.
allowed to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of blows your mind, and it can open your mind to what kind of comedy you can do and what kind of art you could draw.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, that's a dude who wants to dress up like Marilyn Monroe, but only half of his face, and the other half of his face is Cher. And then he turns around like Victor Victoria, because I saw Victor Victoria,
Yeah.
the movie, and he was amazing. She was amazing, I guess is the correct
Yeah.
pronoun when in
not
costume.
sure when-
in
oh,
costume,
in
it's
costume.
she.
Yeah.
Except for that she was two people in costume.
Yeah.
So super she.
Well,
And
it's weird. Like San Francisco had that happening, and then there was also sort of a very super male energy at the Holy City Zoo.
Okay.
It was
yeah, because
interesting.
That is interesting because it feels like it's both nurturing, but
Mm-hmm.
you also did that sort of ball busting kind of road thing.
yeah.
So it was
But
less.
You know, like a lot of San Francisco comics came down here to LA and were, you know, kind of starting the alt scene, and
Yeah.
I was like, no, I didn't
Right.
want to do that. I've always been sort of like, I don't want to tell stories.
Right.
I'll tell jokes, and if 20 of them line up, it'll sound like a story.
Right,
But
if it's-
that is built joke by joke. It's not a story. And I really like
You're a bricklayer.
Yes, and I liked going on the road, and I liked driving. I loved having to do at first a half hour.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I said this before, like in front of coal miners, where you're like, or copper miners in Butte, Montana. Yeah.
One of the dumbest places I ever tried to do stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and it never worked, was for 3 summers, I believe, in the late 80s, I worked in Provincetown, Massachusetts
Yeah.
at a hot dog stand. And,
How did you get out there from Wisconsin?
well, my I lived in a women's co-op. It was a hippie
What?
skippy. Yeah, I lived in a. It was.
I think I should have known this about you a while ago.
Well, now's the time to get. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison,
Yes.
and there was a university-sponsored co-op.
Okay.
And it was the cheapest way to have on-campus housing. And it included food, and you could live there for 9 months. And I spent all 5 years of college there because I moved a lot as a child, and I will never move again if I have to not move. And so I lived there.
Oh.
And so all of my best friends from college are from this. There was 50 women. And it was a lottery. There were like 4 or 5 singles, and in those 5 years, I got singles twice. And
What do you mean singles?
Like you had to share a room. There were
Oh,
dorm
I see,
rooms
I see.
essentially,
Okay.
and and then there were chores where you had to sign up and do chores, and if you didn't, you got fined. In my last season, my last semester's season, yeah, my last semester's I got fined a lot. Anyway, so. A couple of the people who lived there, my friend Jenny, who owns West Side Kids up in Upper West Side, owns that kids' toy store
I don't know.
on 84th and
I
Amsterdam.
never bought my son toys.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't need toys. Get him a book.
That guy-
He's reading.
He had soda cans. He could play.
Play with this rubber band, boy, and look at it, boinky boink. Anyway, so her parents owned a house in Truro. So we bought a car for $50. We actually bought the radio in it, and the axle broke when we got to Provincetown, and we sold the car for $1. We took the radio out, and then we were stacked like cordwood. And there were 5 of us in a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom apartment. The first summer I lived in Provincetown, I slept in a walk-in closet that had a staircase going up, and it was like Harry Potter's closet, and
You've already. I don't know what you're.
Well, you asked.
I don't have
And
an image.
I tried to do stand up because I worked at this hot dog stand and it was attached to a bar. And the bar had a band and a stage. And I was like, can I do stand up? And they're like, you don't do stand up. And I was like, no, I do
You
stand
just
up.
invented stand up at this place.
invented
It wasn't already a venue.
No, it was not a venue. I was just like, I want to do stand up, and it was one of the 2 straight bars in town, and so they let me do stand up there once a summer, and it was the worst. It never ended up being very well, and I was always I worked at a hot dog stand. You could start drinking at noon, so tequila sunrises, and then I worked at Geppetto's pizza place at night, and that was Manhattan's. And then some guy drove me home in his VW Beetle. The guy who owned it, perfectly nice man.
Did
good
that
egg.
story end okay?
That all I did fine.
As a mother, I'm worried about you during this entire story. I'm like,
I was attacked in high school. That's when I was. That was my sexual assault. Was when I was in high school. So
Another student.
no, old guys. Well,
Sorry.
hilarious podcast stories. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't have any jokes about it, but it's over now.
Yeah.
We're all happy to know. Hey, you guys, I lived.
And he
anybody?
died, right?
They're all dead now because they were
Yay.
at least
Right, high five.
high five it. There we go.
Outlive your rapist.
That's
That's a
that's
great
the name of
message.
your book. Okay. I would like more water. So, how we doing?
God, how much further, Kyle?
We could call it. It's 57.
57. Well,
good
we
enough
should
for
end on
me.
something happy. It's where are you going up this week, which will be next week?
I'm gonna be in San Diego. I'm doing like little sets in San Diego here and
you?
there. Yeah, because I'll be at Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna. Oh, did you get sets?
Yeah, I got a couple.
That's awesome.
One night I'll tweet them. Fucking, you're not gonna go
Annie,
anyway.
Lori, 6 people
You
will
guys aren't
go.
going. Why am I wasting your time?
No, people will go. What are you, nuts? I'm in LA all next week, which is exciting for me because I'm or this week, and then I'm doing that Comedy and Magic. I'm going to do one of the
cool.
Comedy and Magic sets next week.
Oh yeah, the anniversary show. I gotta go
Anniversary
down for one of
sets.
those.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So
All right.
this has been fascinating, hasn't it?
Jesus. Like we're fucking out, and we have to do a whole nother one.
Right.
Oh, all right. Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.